and welcome to the Wild Horse webinar. This is our second Wild Horse webinar, and we are going to introduce you all to Ann Souders with Forever Branded. And Ann's been part of the Mustang world for many, many years, and she's passionate, and the Mustangs are in her heart. And she'll tell you a little bit about her story first, and then we'll do a little questions back and forth. So, hi, Ann. Thank you so much for being able to join us today.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm honored. So, you know me well enough to know that you never have to ask me twice to talk about Mustangs.
That's right.
So, yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about what Forever? Well, first of all, I'd like to know, how did you get into this world, and what kind of your backstory with the Mustangs are? Because I thought you were going to retire.
Yes. Well, I've always loved horses since I was little tiny. I was the only one in my family. My parents used to say before I could even talk, I would be standing in the car, reaching out, looking at horses in the pasture, wanting them. And my uncle trained horses for Max Factors. So he trained race horses and did a lot of racing up there at Chicago at the park
Wow.
up there. And so I guess it's in my blood somewhere. And as I grew up, I had a pony, and then I had a horse. And then, life happens. You go to college and you get married. And we moved down in Fort Worth into an equestrian neighborhood. And of course, all those feelings came right back. And that we moved out there a year that I saw there was going to be an event in Fort Worth, and I wanted to go to it. And I had been a big advocate for Mustangs, always loved them and wanted to be part of them. And I kind of belonged to a group that was really anti-gather and anti getting them adopted, wanting to keep them in the wild. But I signed up to do this event through a program where you pick up a wild horse and you have 100 days to gentle it. And I did that in 2008. And really, by the grace of God, my judge for that event was Ken McNabb. And we all know Ken. He lives in wild horse country. He's a very well-known clinician and trainer. And he came to me and talked to me about the wild horses and what we were doing, and told me a lot of the facts that were going on with the wild horses, why they need managed, why they need gathered. A lot of information I'd really not heard before, while I thought I was trying to help fight for them. And so actually, I like to tell people that I kind of came from the dark side once I got educated and learned. And now, trust me, I always want there to be wild horses. And Lisa, you know my heart well. There's nothing I love more than going out to Salt Wells and seeing my beloved Rocket and his mares and his babies. And I mean, that I'm longing to go out there right now because I haven't been out there yet this spring. And so I love doing that. But really, more than that, what I learned through education was I want them taken care of. I want them managed. And wild horses double in size every 4 years. That's just their nature. And the land that they're protected on is government land, which not all for wildlife and horses and everything else that lives out there. And so, number one, I want those horses taken care of. I want them to have enough food and water. And so that's what started really this journey with me, is getting educated and learning. And it's come full circle, Lisa, because now I've come around to where now we have our own foundation with Forever Branded. And what my heart wants more than anything, all of us that love wild horses, I want us all to agree to disagree, to help these horses, to get them out of holding, to find them homes. And it's kind of like a domino effect with wild horses. It just doesn't start with one or two. You see what wild horses do for people. Yes, I want them managed and I want them adopted into good homes, but I've got to see, and I know you've got to see too, they change people's lives. I mean, there's just something about gentling a wild animal and earning its trust that although it's good for them, what it does for us on the inside, I mean, wow. And now with Forever Branded, we get to do that every day. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm a blessed person. The good Lord saw this little old preacher's daughter from the Midwest in Illinois, and he granted me the desires of my heart. And I want to think that's because I've tried to do everything the right way. I've tried to do the mission and put everything first. And number one is the wild horses and doing what's right for them and helping our trainers and being honest and passionate. I think you have to be passionate about what we do, and that's what I love about Forever Branded. We are creating and fostering community through education, engagement, and adoption, one wild horse or burro at a time. Because now I'm a long ears, you know, I have
Yep.
Cocoa Bell now, so we have a burro here, and it's really great. I know you've experienced this, Lisa. We get to see them change people's lives. It's just
Right.
you just can hardly put words to it what it does. And although we're helping them find forever homes, I it goes full circle. They're helping us too.
Well, we just did an event with you a few weeks ago where we partnered with you because, like you, I believe that education is the key.
Yes.
The key to getting the horses out of holding, the key to educating people about some of the laws, some of what's happening. Um, One of the beautiful things you talk about coming from the dark side that we're seeing happening now is because of the friendships and the partnerships we've made. We're seeing
Yes.
the bridges getting built
Yes.
and the teamwork, and just like our little busload of yearlings that will be at our event in Colorado in August. It that took everybody working together, and it's raising up everybody, and it's people who can't have a horse but they're able to help a horse.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your Forever Branded program and what your place is in this. In like, if we were doing a panel at, say, Equine Affair, what would Anne be telling us about Forever Branded's place?
Well, Forever Branded, we have stepped in and we're our vision is to be forever be the steadfast champion of the wild horses and burro community. Not just wild horses and burros, not just the trainers, but we have a whole group of people that they're never going to adopt a wild horse, but I want them to be part of this community. I want them to feel the difference, to see what happens, to experience the miracles of adopting a wild horse through maybe somebody else. I realize that not everybody has a facility to bring home a wild horse, but I want you to feel what I feel. I want you to feel the passion and know we're taking a piece of our history. We're changing people's lives through that. And that's what we get to do with Forever Branded. And we are really passionate about the new people, bringing in new trainers, helping guide them and getting them in. Our, while many training competitions exist, we kind of build on the success that Matt and Stacy had with their Mustang Mania that they created years ago, and we're building on that. We're getting a lot of new people in. We our event there in California we had with you, I think 75% of our people were new, and I love that.
Right.
Experiencing this and getting them and guiding them, let them know you don't have to be a seasoned trainer. You just have to try. And what I love about our events is we do in hand as well as riding, and you can pick which you want to be or do both. Um, you come to our competition. We give you longer than the normal 100 days. You have 4 to 8 months, depending on what the competition is and when pickup is. And so that helps really get seasoned horses. Now, our trainers, when they pick up, they adopt these horses. But also at our events, we know that not everybody can always keep all their horses. We want to, but so they many of them rehome them, and so a new person wanting a Mustang, you have the ability to come in and not only just adopt that horse and get it rehomed to you at the event, you can follow that person from the very beginning on our
Right.
pages. So
Right.
that's what's nice. And if you go to Forever Branded, and you can look Forever Branded up Brandon Bonanza, Idaho, Brandon Bonanza, California, Brandon Bonanza, Missouri. You can follow those trainers and you might find a horse that you like, oh my, I really love this horse. It's kind of calling to me. And you can follow that trainer, what they do, and then you are going to be a little bit more educated on that horse, know what it does. And that's what we get to do. We get to pair people up with horses, have a competition. I will tell you, our competitions, the number one goal is to have fun, have a safe, enjoyable competition, come together. We give amazing prizes out, and you've seen all that, and everybody gets something. You come home knowing that you were successful in what you did, and that is the whole key to everything. So,
What really impressed me about the event in California, and I think the general public needs to understand what was so cool about that, was that every single person competing there was in hand. None of those horses were ridden. They had fun. They did obstacles. They did costume. They did their um oh gosh, the
the
word is
freestyle.
escaping. Freestyle.
Hmm?
They did all of that in hand.
Yeah.
So one of my big things is grounded horsemanship. I believe everybody needs to have a really great foundation of grounded horsemanship. It's starting on the ground, staying on the ground until that horse is developed out. So to be able to see an event come together and people love it and everyone had fun, and it didn't matter that they weren't out there jumping 4-foot fences, they had a blast. And so
Yes.
that's the kind of community, and that's the difference in the Mustang world, the community of people that are out there with these horses.
Mm-hmm. And Lisa, I know you saw this too. One thing that I love during the freestyle, everybody helps each other. The
Yes,
competitors that you're competing against, they're helping you put your props up. It goes deeper than winning a ribbon or winning first place. Everybody's passionate because we all have the same passion and the same desire to help these horses get placed into homes. And that's what sets us apart from other breeds, I think, is the passion and the consideration and the love and respect we have for each other for what we do, even if we're on different sides of the fence with
right,
gathers, we all come together because we love these horses and we want them to find good homes. We all want the horses that are in holding, we want to get those adopted out.
right,
And so
right. And
that,
that's
yes,
super important now, especially with the 14,000 that are getting
yes,
gathered this year. And
yes,
with our program, we're developing this now into focusing on our foster. We've added the foster program, and our fosters are going and getting their sale authority horse and bring their sale authority horse and show it and then sell it at the event, so that we know we're putting horses with 60 or more days on it into the population of partner and saddle horses. And then that encourages the trainers to keep getting their stuff out there. And that's the way we can support the trainers.
yes, yes,
Because the conversation is going to get by this time next year, the conversation is going to be really pretty drastic and pretty deep, I think.
yes.
So
And I think what people don't understand is this goes far deeper than you and I. It goes far deeper than the Bureau of Land Management or different organizations. Weather plays a big factor in this. I mean, that's one reason we're having to get so many horses off the range this year. There was not much of a winter. So, well, while that might be good that there wasn't bad weather and cold weather, that means there's no snow, there's no moisture. That means no forage, no water in the ponds and the lakes and the creeks and the rivers. All that trickles down to them needing to be managed because now the drought conditions, and you and I both know what that just means for our yard. Can you imagine? I tell people, what would you think it'd be like if you lived in town and you had a privacy fence with a backyard and you took 4 or 5 horses and you put in that backyard and you just left them and you didn't feed and water them? That's a lot what it's like out there. Where I got my Divide Basin horse from, it took 60 acres to feed one horse. Now, if all these Mustangs were in Kentucky or Tennessee, the only problem we'd have is obesity, but they're not. And
Right.
so that's why education, engagement, and adoption, they're so important. And I appreciate you and all your people spreading the word and helping know, getting more people involved. That's what it takes. It takes us spreading the word and getting people that would not normally know about this involved and um, asking questions and saying, "What can I do? How can I help?"
Right, right, exactly. And that goes back to teaching people about one. I mean, how many events have we been to that people have no idea there are really wild horses out on the
Yes,
range, which is amazing to me. But the fact that the BLM, their task is to manage these horses,
yes.
and so in managing them, part of managing them, and I always use the Shinkati model as kind of my favorite model to go back to, is roundup and taking
Mm-hmm.
care and bringing the young stock. If we can get a program going where the young horses are the only ones that are coming in and going into holding and the older ones can go back out, that's that's a perfect world. And I know one of your favorite people in the world was Wild Horse Annie. And there's a big movement coming. Well, not, I don't want to call it movement. I know with the film festival that we have going, we've got a new book coming out about Wild Horse Annie. Somebody wants to make a documentary about Wild Horse Annie. So, could you tell us a little bit about Wild Horse Annie, since you're our
I
own
will.
Wild Horse
I
Annie?
I I love, I'm faith-based. And I think often how the good Lord didn't go to the government or to the church to pick the people out. He wanted to follow him that made the difference in the world. Same with Wild Horse Annie. She was just an average, everyday secretary. Probably didn't weigh 100 pounds, had polio, was not a healthy person, but she had faith in what she did and passion for the horses. And because of an event she saw and something she saw as she was on her way to work one day that touched her heart, she started this whole movement. One person, probably a
Yes.
100 to 120-pound person that had polio, that believed in something. That just shows us we can all make a difference. And she got all these kids across the country to write letters to their congressman, to the president. I mean, not just hundreds and not just thousands, but millions of letters came in. And kids actually went to Congress and spoke on behalf of the wild horses. And now we have the Act of 1971 called the Wild Horse Annie Act that protects them. They're on 10 states in the West and they're protected on that land. So that just shows us one person can make a difference. No
Right.
matter your age, no matter what you do, no matter your college degree, none of that matters. It's that you have a passion and you're working towards and doing it. And I just love that story. I loved reading the book about her and it inspired me. I love it that just one person can make such a huge difference in life and for these wild horses. And um, I just can't wait to see what for Brandon's going to do. I mean, we've already kind of broken our own records on what we've wanted to do in the past, and um, I think Mustang Annie would be very proud of us, Lisa.
Right. I do too. I do too. I left the event after California. I went all the way to the other side of the country and did an event at um, Trail of Faith, which is right up your alley, Trail of
Yep.
Faith Farm. They do a veterans program that they use Mustangs with. And we
Hmm.
did a summit there. We did it the yearlings,
Hmm.
and having people that just sat and watched those yearlings. Randy Helm, Pastor Randy Helm, came out, and he was one of our listeners. We call them wild horse listeners now because we listen to the horse. And watching people just sit for the weekend to learn one horse after another, they pretty much so left there with a master class in how to get a first touch. and you would have cried. One of our young ladies who came, her name's Allegra Hart, who came and what has never been around a Mustang. The closest they came is they went and looked at a couple of the BLM adoption events to get acquainted. Her mom, who is the president of our Iberian Horse Alliance, went and we brought all of the Iberian Horse Alliance has a working equitation course, and we took that working equitation course last year down to the Mustang Classic. And that was Susan's first experience into watching the wild horses, which the year prior, didn't look so good. But the second year, after everybody knew what they were supposed to do with working equitation, they came back into that course and knocked it out of the ballpark. So Susan, we did mother-daughter teams in North Carolina. We had 3 mother-daughter teams. And so Susan and Allegra, who had never worked with a Mustang before, worked with a little black gelding. And he went out in the ring the first 15 minutes and he just laid down to roll a little bit, and he didn't pop right back up. And Allegra was out with him, and Mary Miller Jordan was with us at that event. And I said to Allegra, I said, if Mary Miller was out there with her, with that baby, she'd be getting on the ground with him and rolling around. So Allegra laid down on the ground with that baby. When that baby saw that she went down to the ground with him, and she hadn't touched him yet, he just laid down. She laid down on the ground next to him. When she laid back and relaxed, he laid flat out. She reached her hand out. He reached his nose. They touched, and they laid there like that for 10 minutes. The audience was just like, and then when he got up, he didn't scamper up. He just kind of was like, okay, nap's over. I'm just going to get up. And they continued the work. But it was, for me, it was one of those moments that I was just like, oh my God. And I thought of you right away because it was just like, make you cry moment. But it's the power of these horses.
Yes, it is. It is. That is awesome. And I will tell you, she will not be the same.
Oh no, they would have taken that horse home. Except now when we do our events, I put a $1,500 buy now instead of someone having to go through the bidding process at the end of the event. And we had 4 horses went with the buy now. So, and that little horse was one of them because she's like, they were taking that horse home, but they will end up with a Mustang.
Well, Lisa, I tell people all the time, when you first come to our events, you might want to wear an allergy mask because these wild horses and burros are very contagious. Once you be around one, then you want to be around another. Once you have one, you want another, and you understand this. Just some things like you saw right there.
Yes. Yes. And Mary was there with Dr. Mike. Do you know about the study that Dr. Mike is doing with Mary Miller Jordan with the heart?
I know a little bit about it. Yes.
Yeah. So they're working with Horses and Humans Research Foundation for the horse heart connection. And so Mary was there, and her horse Magic was wearing a big heart monitor. And Dr. Mike was checking to see, that when they sync up, the science behind it. And they were both watching and experiencing this young girl that had never worked with a Mustang before. But then we started to talk, and Allegra knew Dr. Mike because Dr. Mike is also the FEI doctor because she's an international level vaulter.
Okay.
And so once she starts talking about Mustangs, the first thing she was saying was that these would make great starter vaulting horses for kids because they just, once the ones that Mary was demoing, and oh my gosh, our little Brooke Miller was there with her daughter, and they were putting on an evening show that was adorable. But Allegra got to see how these horses gentle up. Yes. And she's like, oh, these are perfect for that, which is what I've always been saying. These are American sport ponies.
They're very sure-footed.
Yes. So it's
Yes.
a whole nother, that's just one more person getting
Yes.
connected to it.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes. And you, when you talked about her laying down with the horse and that she'd done this before, I love it because I tell people all the time, none of my Mustangs asked to see my resume. None of them asked how qualified I was. They never rolled their eyes at me. When I go, when I first did this, I met a trainer at the very first event that we went to watch in 2007. And we got to know this trainer. He's no longer with us anymore. He passed. But he told me when you walk out your door to go to the barn, your Mustangs already know the mood you're in by the way you shut the door. And oh, that is so true. They mirror us. And so
yes.
it's his advice to me was when you go out that door to work with your horse, you just say a little prayer. Lord, help me do the very best I can for this horse and just guide me and keep us both safe. And that's actually what I do even when I go out to feed, I say the same thing because you just never know what's going to happen. But
No kidding.
it was great advice, and it's so true. There's something powerful, something spiritual about us forgetting ourselves and being honest within and reaching out to earn something's trust. We don't do that in life anymore. As we don't do that as families, we don't do it as Americans, we don't do it as people. Um, we've kind of lost all of our sense of being accountable. And when it comes to a wild horse, man, that is huge. And it brings us
Mhm.
all back full circle into that same moment to where we have to be honest. We have to forget ourselves. That horse doesn't care what war we were in, doesn't care about any divorces, doesn't care about what grades we made, what kind of car we drive. All
How
that
much money
horse
you
cares
make.
about, yes, is what we bring to that right then. And there's something so healing for ourselves when we experience that. And I love the fact that Forever Branded is really catering to some of the new trainers and the new people reaching out. We don't care your age, 8 to 108. We don't care.
Yes.
And Lisa, you've seen this. Our kids, 8 to 17, whoo, watch out adults because they are coming. They knock it out of the park every time. I'm so proud of them. So,
So tell me a little bit, what is on the horizon for Forever Branded and Anne and the herd that is Forever Branded for the rest of this year?
well, of course, we're adopting out horses, and then we already did our California event, but in Idaho, August 7th through the 9th, we have our Branded Bonanza Idaho, and then in Missouri, October 16th through the 18th at St. Charles, Missouri, right outside of Lake St. Louis, we have another event. Then we leave there and go to the FFA National Convention, which is phenomenal place to have a booth. You're with 100,000 of our future, 100,000 kids that are already saturated with agriculture and farming and animals and their welfare. And so that is a great event for us. When we get back on October 31st, we have the finals for the Extreme Cowboy Race because there is a Mustang event for seasoned Mustangs and also for green Mustangs during that event also. So
That's
we're doing that. And while all this is going on, we also have branded partnerships, which you can take Wild Horse and Gentelet and find it a home. Then we also have adoption centers across the country that we manage that has wild horses there where you can go pick up a wild horse. And if you go to foreverbranded.org and then go to our programs, you can look up each event and see, you can see where all of our partners are, where all the adoption centers are, and then you can also look at where all the branded bonanzas are.
good, good. That's great. Yeah, I know the event when you do your Missouri event the following weekend, we are at a college right by there in
Yes,
Stevens College, their equestrian center with the American Mustang Project people doing a summit there. So we'll have
yes.
get 6 more little babies out there,
Yes.
hopefully, into the world.
Yes.
So,
Very good. And I love that you're doing stuff, things like that at a college. What great way to introduce people and our future
exactly,
trainers into what we're doing.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And we'll be showing Julianne's documentary. So
Yes.
that'll be fun. The 5,000 mile, 5,000 Mustang documentary premieres
Yes.
in Steamboat Springs August 5th. So we're all super excited about that. I wish you could
Yeah.
be there. It
I
breaks
do
my
too.
heart that you're not going to be there
I
because
know.
you were
I'll be there in
a big
spirit.
part of that,
Yes.
big
Yes.
part of
I,
that.
I remember before she went on the ride, she went out to Salt Wells with me. And I get very emotional out there. And it's nothing for me to cry when I see the horses or to get emotional when I see things going on. And um, I was very blessed to have Lizanne and one of her dear friends with me before she went on that ride. I feel that kind of helped her see the range and see the need. And then now she has a horse from that herd that is very dear to my heart. And so
She, yeah,
again, it comes full circle.
she just did the Pony Express
Pony
last
Express,
weekend.
yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
And she
We,
adopted 2 burros that she's bringing to our event in Colorado
yes,
for as
yes.
fosters.
Yes, and she's going to be competing in the Missouri event. So I'm very proud of her. I can't wait to see her and follow her. And she knows how dear this filly is that she has to my heart. And her filly Rosie, her daddy is up on my wall back here, and I've probably got several thousand pictures of him in my on my phone. And so if you ever want to know anything about Rocket, just call me, y'all. Just call me.
Oh, well, that's so cool. And that's the fun part about this is there's so many
Yeah.
people that are the community and because of the internet, the power of the internet where people
Yes.
can stay connected and you can share your pictures and you can share your stories. And I believe now that the people who are out here doing important work for the off-range horses like you and like what we're doing with the Wild Horse Summits, we now have almost as strong, if not more so, than the people who just fight to keep them on the range. I feel it's given
Yeah.
our voices, our connectivity. We can support each other and reach
Yes.
each other, hold each other up. And it's why this bridge has been able to be built.
I agree.
So
I agree. And
the people, the
I,
haters
yes,
out there,
they
they've
don't
gone
know,
away.
Lisa. They just
Right.
don't know. And I, I have to have a big thank you to the Bureau of Land Management. I wouldn't want that job for all the money in China. It is a very hard job. And I know they have very slim pickings on their staff and what they do. They have 85,000 horses to manage in the wild. I don't know how they get it all done and how they do it. But we are in partnership with them. And I'm very grateful that they honored Forever Branded by picking us and helping fund us to help get wild horses adopted. That I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for y'all and the Equus Film Festival that you have supported us. You know our hearts and where we are and what we do, and so I tell people all the time it goes farther than just me and you. I love I love our mission statement, creating and fostering community through education, engagement, and adoption. And this is the best part. One wild horse or burro at a time. That's the key. It's us all coming together to work and to help to educate. And you're right, education is the key to all of this. I really believe that. Through that, the public can know um, what's going on. And like you said, many people they don't even know there are wild horses out there.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly.
everywhere I go, I try to drop that hint, whether it's through handing out my card or just being there. I try to let that light shine from me everywhere I go so people know. And I will tell you, every Wednesday morning, I go to a ladies' Bible study. None of them knew about wild horses before I went there. I'm late getting home every time, and guess why? They're
Because you're
wanting to know
talking.
about wild horses. Now, are those ladies going to adopt a wild horse? No, but I love it that they're so invested now that they want to know about it. And that's where the community comes in. Everybody can play a role and see a part. And it's wonderful, Lisa, that you post all these things on social media and I post because people kind of live through us. They live the wild horses experience through what we show and what we do. It helps people know there are wild horses out there. They do need adopted. They do need homes. There's not enough forage and water. And so through our light shining for all these wild horses and through what we do, people can be a part of it. And that's the greatest part of what we do. You don't have to be a trainer. You just have to come together and be part of our community. And I treasure that. I treasure each person and what they do and how they learn. And for us, it's through our social media pages, Forever Branded, our branded bonanzas. It's also foreverbranded.org. And I know you have a lot of pages too. So the more we get that out there, the more
Right.
people will learn.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah,
Well, thank you so much, Anne, for spending some time with me this morning.
you're
I'm
welcome.
excited to share what Forever Branded does because it's all of the pieces and all the parts of everyone who is in this community to let people know who's out there. And guess who our next guest is? One of your favorite people, Mary Kitzmiller.
Oh, yes, one of my very favorite. She taught me clicker training.
Yeah,
Great.
yep,
Mustangs are really great at that. They're
yep.
very good for
So,
that. So wonderful. Lisa,
Mary,
I want to thank you because you've opened doors for lots of people. And I feel that you helped lay many of the blocks of the bridge that we are building with people to help us all come together to help these horses. And that's what it takes. It takes each one of us laying a brick
it's our
to help
herd,
build this
and
bridge. Absolutely. It's our herd. And so thank you so much.
and one of our little bus riders, we're calling them the bus rider adoptables, that came out of the holding pen in Utah, ended up heading home even before our event in Craig with our friend Carrie Ferguson from the Cloud Foundation. Her
Yeah.
husband fell in love with the little blue
Yes.
roan, and
Yes.
she just picked him up and they're or her up and they're having a ball with her. So
I've been following that journey, and I see
yep,
that's what I love about the social media. I get to be part of that. I'm not in Colorado with Carrie, but I message them all the time. Thank you. I've got to be part of that journey now. I follow that
yes,
with them. So
yep.
I got to be with Carrie last year at Salt Wells, and I got to show her Cloud and Teton and Poncho and Evelyn and all the horses. We were right there in the middle of all the herd of horses, and she got to see my heart where it's at. And she said to me, "Ann, you love these horses," and I said, "They're mine. I feel like all these horses are my horses." So I cherish that time with Carrie out there and getting to know her, and I we have a lot of good times to come. I know.
Well, I'm so excited to see how this story of those little 11 horses comes together and as it plays out and
Yes.
all the people we've been able to interconnect along the way. And they're not even, it's not even until the first week of August that they go to get gentled. But by the
Yes.
time Taryn Hillman's done with them, they're going to be pocket ponies, which is what I want because we want people to adopt them and be able to
Yes.
take them into the next step of their life. So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
and it's helping Taryn and Breeze nonprofit, their Wild Heart Haven. It every little piece has helped these horses and the
Yes.
people involved with them. So
Yes.
that's
It's
what
all
makes my
building
heart
up.
happy is to be able
Yes.
to connect people to help them go to the next level. So
Absolutely.
it's exciting
Absolutely.
to watch those numbers grow up on social media on their content because they've had posts that have had thousands and thousands of views now with these
Yes.
babies because Taryn is just taking that time working with them. And Taryn and Bree are awesome with that. So
Right.
it's
Wonderful.
fun. I mean there's where else could we be that we're having this much fun doing what we're doing?
Absolutely. I say that all the time.
This is like it's butt busting, but boy, it's amazing and it's rewarding and it feels great and it's
does.
inspiring and it makes you want to just keep doing it every day.
It does. I'm very proud. Forever Branded has already saved taxpayers over $100 million. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's amazing.
it is
He can
amazing.
do a
And
few pulls with that.
absolutely. It just goes to show you when you do what's right and you're honest, you stick to your mission and you try hard and add some prayers in there. Just look what happens, Lisa.
Yep, I
So
know.
a
I
few years
know.
ago, I was in a situation where I didn't have a position, and like you said, I thought I was going to be retired. And now look, I said, oh my gosh, you got to watch what you pray for because if God blesses you,
That's right.
whoo, you're going to be
That's right. You
busy.
got to watch what you throw out in that universe because sometimes
Yes,
we're there like this with the catcher's mitt going, okay,
yes,
let's make things happen.
yes.
So
And
it's
now
fun.
look, yes.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So, well, thank you again. I'm excited. I'll let you know as soon as we get this up. And once more,
yeah.
can you tell everyone where they can find Forever Branded?
Yes, you can find Forever Branded. We're on social media, on Instagram and Facebook under Forever Branded. And then we're also under Branded Bonanzas for the Idaho, Missouri, or California. And then you can go to foreverbranded.org and find out about all our programs and everything we do there and find out about our staff and our board and what we're doing. So, and also you can reach out to any of us. Our information is on our website and on our Facebook page and we're always here to help.
Good, very good. I know the East Coast is chomping at the bit for a Forever Branded event. So
Yes. Yep.
hopefully that'll be in the future next year.
Hopefully next year.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for spending the time with me. And I'm looking forward to the next time I get to see you. And maybe you can stay a little longer in Missouri and just come watch the film at the college.
Well, I would love to. We're going to be hightailing it to the FFA convention.
Oh,
So
that's right. You
you know
did
how
say
this
that.
is, Elisa. You don't
Well,
even unpack
I
your
know
bags. You go from event to event.
my car is still loaded from I thought, why am I unloading? I go to Briarfest in a couple of weeks, and then right from
Yes.
Briarfest, I head out to Colorado. So, and then with the film festival the week before, of course, I said yes because it's talking to
Yes.
people about Mustangs. I said,
Yes.
yes, I'll do the Massachusetts event, not realizing how far of a drive Massachusetts to Midway, Kentucky is, because I got
Yes.
to do that in a flip over the weekend. So, but we do this
Yes.
for the horses.
Yes. I understand. Well, safe travels.
Thank you. And we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye bye.